All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. Market staging a nice rally here on pretty light volume. Market's just floating up. A little bit of a bullish kind of consolidation here, and then a bit of a float into the close higher. See Nasdaq finishing up 1.2, S&P up 1, Dow up 0.7 here. Russell 2000, nice positive here on the daily. Was up 1% here, but it did get above the red bar high from last week, which was an important resistance area that we mentioned in the last couple of days. Also getting above that 20-day moving average there. So, this was a minor moving average, but Russell finally showing a little bit of a positive here. What's going on here is we're seeing holiday volume start to kick in. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be on our toes here. The last time that we had holiday volume, or we had a holiday, we had heavy volume and they were selling. And the last couple of times the market looked like it wanted to pop up, they faded that pretty hard. So nice little move here for the markets today. Not a lot of volume on it though, as we can see here, just 69 million. This is after hours, so it was about 60 million shares by the close. So not a very heavy volume day here, but market staging a decent rally in any case. A couple of things that led. Tesla was up over 7%, 7.5%. Tesla will have resistance around this necktie here of the 50 and 20 MA. Maybe it gets up somewhere into this 1050 range, but this red bar should provide some resistance. But nice move for Tesla in the near term. So that was a leader. Semi's also having a decent day, up 1.2 here. This is still going to have resistance at this red bar high. So semis, nice bounce, but not quite out of the woods yet. Triple Qs, obviously Nasdaq, Trek stocks getting a nice bid here. Again, resistance at this red bar high from last week. Nasdaq was the leader, and that was because yields pulled back a little bit here. You see the 10-year down 2%, and the 30-year down just over 2%. Ultimately, the 30-year is holding this still bullish pattern here, so nothing really wrong with that. I still think the Nasdaq is the weak link moving forward. Dow Transport's really just a pause day, actually exactly flat on the day, down 0.01%. Got to bounce off this low yesterday, and just kind of sitting here now today, just a bit of a pause. The problem with the Dow Transports is the weekly. You lost this green bar low here on a closing basis last Friday. So that is a sign of weakness. I do not like the transports moving forward here. XLE, XOP, and OIH also a little bit of follow through from yesterday's rally. Nothing too crazy though. Yields also, being the fact that they were negative, probably subdued that rally a little bit. But, nice little move there for the MG stocks. Now, crude, on the other hand, did have a much better follow-through day. I think crude gets up to that 75, maybe 77 handle. I've talked about that for a few weeks, and that should play out in the next couple of days to weeks. Maybe it wants to consolidate a little bit here to get through this 100 MA. But, you had a fake breakdown here and a nice pop yesterday and then follow through today. So I do like oil here in the near term. Nat gas had this sharp move down, obviously, and now it's kind of consolidating a little bit. Here you can see it on the weekly too. 3 weeks of consolidation. So this is setting up to move lower. We do have a level worked out on this, but we'll have to continue to monitor it because if it consolidates too much, it can make that level into a minor area, and that would be an area that we'd want to avoid if it were to consolidate for too long. Dollar index. Run through this. So this pulled back a little bit today. Ultimately, the weekly time frame is the dominant one, and we're still just seeing backing and filling. I expect the dollar to probably chop a little bit into the year end, and then probably into the early to middle part of January, it can get going. Gold. So we talked about this little pullback here. Nice little setup, right? You have the move off the lows, green bar, 1, 2, 3 pullback and a pop. Classic setup. This should probably get up to at least 1820 if you get through that. You got 1840 to 1850. That would be your next major area. Silver having a even stronger day here. 1-2 pullback, did have a pop yesterday and now follow through today. So if this can get above this red bar here at 2306, close above that, you can make a run at 2350. So short term, silver showing some strength here. Copper, we talked about that yesterday. Copper also popping again today, and maybe silver may be playing off of copper as kind of an industrial thing. And maybe that's why silver has outperformed gold over the last 2 days. So that's something to keep an eye on. Platinum with a monster move today, 4.17%. This wants to get up to the 1,000 handle. It'll test that. and then ultimately right about here, 1024. If it can consolidate sideways for a little bit and put in a bull flag or something, then it can push up maybe to the 1050 area. So we'll continue to monitor that on platinum, palladium. Also a nice pop did get above this high here. So a nice little move, nice little rally here on the precious metals. Won't make too much out of it, but they are showing a little bit of strength here in the near term, so that is a positive. XLF, more follow through from yesterday. Talked about this potential breakdown, but you had the 200 MA, and obviously this trend line appears of that. But financials holding up okay, and that is with yields lower, so that's a good sign. JP Morgan fractionally higher today. This one has been a weaker name of the financials. Talked yesterday about Goldman negating that head and shoulders, and you're seeing follow through on that. So Goldman may have some upside here in the near term. Broker dealers also follow through. Nice move today, getting above, getting close to the high from last week there. But anyways, financials shaping up much better than they were in the last week or so. Bitcoin. So we had this kind of a little bit of a downsloping trend line. You'd argue they broke out of it yesterday. Now a little bit of a pause. You'd want to see some follow through, and then you'll have resistance right here at this gap fill. But ultimately, Bitcoin has just been range bound for the last couple of weeks, and we'll see what happens. It's going to break one way or the other. I think it breaks up, at least in the near term, and at least fills this gap around 50,000 there on Bitcoin. Overall, wrapping up the market here, we will likely, at least historically, we will see light volume continue into the end of the week. That usually bodes upside, an upside bias for the market. But as we've seen in recent months, that hasn't been the case. That said, we still will have resistance. This is ultimately going to be the final test here. This 473.50 area on the SPY. So that's really going to be, we've already hit that a couple of times and they've rejected it. The more times you hit a level, though, the weaker it gets. But we'll see what happens if we get up there this week. Do they knock it back down? It'd be pretty crazy if they did sell the market off sharply like they have over the last couple of months right before Christmas. But the way things have been going lately, I won't rule anything out. Anyways, don't make too many moves until the market shows you its hand. This is not an area to jump on long because they could easily slam it back down. You definitely don't want to short either. Just let the market kind of tell us a little bit more, and we will wait for it to show its hand to us. Anyways, guys, take care. I will talk to you all tomorrow, and have a great rest.